Hey, what's going on, good people? Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil, and like always, my co-host, GameTime Bryan. What's going on, Bryan? I know it's not as exciting of a day, but how's it going, man?
Yeah, listen, man, we're gonna bring it, right? It's kind of what I expected. It's not a great day as Cowboy fans, but I'm actually, after I slept and woke up, I feel a lot better. I'm glad it's over because I live around here. I live in the area, and this is hard for me to hear all the people running their mouth. So anyway, yeah, we'll get into all of that. I want to say, what's up, Phil? How you doing?
Man, I had a birthday party thing I had to plan today, so it kind of kept my mind away. Seeing other people talk, being able to reflect back on the game as well too. I think I'm with a lot of Cowboy nations in the sense that, yeah, not disappointed. I'm not sad. I'm not anything. It sucks about a lot of the stuff that happened in the game, which we definitely will cover. But
Definitely.
But when you look at the overall, I think everybody's in the same thing. Our backup quarterback threw 3 interceptions. We still had a chance to win it at the end. There were some times our defense didn't hold up, but I mean, they were putting in some predicaments throughout the game. So again, I'm not sad. I'm not disappointed. I think Eagle Nation is more pissed off that we aren't as pissed off as they want us to be. We understand that this is a game. This is a team that we may battle 2 more times. Now, obviously, we have the other game on Christmas Eve, but we may, you never know with some of these playoff type things. So, not to beat them 3 times because you know how the Rams were last year with San Francisco.
Yeah.
San Francisco beat them twice, and then all of a sudden the playoffs, that 3rd time as well. So it's always been a tough thing to beat a team 3 times. But to do what we did with the backup quarterback, I mean, there's so many things that kind of, added to this loss. But I think I'm with everybody in the sense that, hey, man, we look forward to the future. I'm happy. If you would have told me a couple of weeks ago that Cooper Rush was going to get us a 4-1 under him, I would have been so ecstatic.
Yeah, I was hurting. Yeah, after week 1, man, I was really not doing well because, in my mind, you have all year to stew over you opened up last year, you played a good game, but you lost in Tampa. Then the way you lost in the playoffs, I was crushed after that first game. But saying that, we won 4 in a row with the backup quarterback. I didn't like that we lost yesterday, but now that it's over, I'm wearing the Dak hat for a reason, and we'll get into that. But now that it's over, we need to move forward. We're 4-2. People, you're 3rd in the division. Okay, it's 6 games in. Okay,
Yep.
The Giants are doing it with mirrors. I give the Giants a lot of credit.
Mm-hmm.
They're winning.
They're winning. Yep. They're pulling it off.
You saw what we did to them.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and you saw what we did to the Eagles after we got out of our own way.
Mm-hmm. I think right off the bat, when I saw, and I think we were talking just a little bit ago, I saw Cooper Rush right off the bat The throws were off. You were mentioning that he likes. It seems like in the beginning of the game, he really likes to throw off his back foot.
Yeah.
I think he's thinking about the throw a little bit too much, and so he's not just letting it sling.
I mean, it wasn't even close, Phil. I was getting annoyed. I texted you a couple times. I hate being that reactionary guy who's just going to get mad, but I'm a fan first. I'm a fan first before we get into analyzing and
it wouldn't matter if we were supposed to go 0 and 17 or whatever. We get upset when the plays happen.
Yeah, well, I got everybody's scores here. I could ramble them, but I see, Gina.
You got
Gina Thorne, 24-10. I wish you were right, Gina. Let me see who else is
got
in
Joe
here.
Gonzalez
I don't see
here.
Angelica. Yeah, I don't think JoJo. I got her score, but you were. What was your score? Bill?
My score was 20-17. But what I thought was going to happen was I thought the Eagles were going to lead, and I thought Dallas was going to score a touchdown at the very end to win the game, and it was kind of going down that path.
Listen, man,
and then
you were close on that. I mean, my final score was Eagles 23, Dallas 16.
And you were right.
And I was all
Pretty
over
close.
it.
Yeah.
So, listen, what did I tell you? What's the one thing they couldn't do? Is get down double digits, let alone 20 friggin' points. There's no way you play that way.
No.
So I want everybody in here to think about something. We were losing 20-0. They weren't calling off the dogs because they were coming out for blood. After what happened last year, the talk was they wanted to put a 40 burger on us. Didn't happen. So they were up 20-0, and they wanted to go. You saw how they were acting at the end of the first half. They had 3 turnovers. Come on. And that's what you do. That's what we have to take out of it. If Cooper Rush would have played, and he wasn't perfect in the second half, he was still missing. Yeah. He was still missing throws. But I'm going to rattle off just some stuff for the people, and I want to give a shout out to Mike Fisher. Anytime I don't have time to look at my own stuff, do all the numbers. We have jobs, but I want to give credit. I'm not going to plagiarize off of somebody and go, well, I know. No. Mike Fisher is inside the building. He had rattled off a few things that I want to highlight here. Coaches said to watch out for a handful of splash plays that the Eagles will give you. Their defense, the middle of the field, is open a lot. And if you remember last night hearing, what's his name? Chris Collinsworth, he was saying there's plays to be made at the middle of the field. And what did Rush do? He overthrew multiple. They're acting like their cornerbacks were doing something special. One was the tip drill that, there was 2 that was drill. You're supposed to catch that. Yeah. Come on. And like the other one, he threw it behind a guy. But Cooper Rush was not able to take advantage of the middle of the field. That's what, and it wasn't like they were really, I thought Cooper had a nice amount of time. I was happy with that. Brandon Graham, I expected him to be in the backfield, or Fletcher Cox. No.
See, a lot of the stuff that you hear is coming from them hoping that they want you to push to the side, and they say that, when you talk about, we had a backup quarterback that was throwing 3 interceptions. Oh, well, that's just an excuse. Like, you don't think that the Eagle fans would be all about that if Minshew was playing and they had, they would lose. They talk about that stuff last year. They talk about that really quickly last year, at the end of last year, about how they had a backup and all that. So, to me, I love what Cooper Rush was able to do. We said after first week we would love for him to at least split the games, and the fact that he just did better than that, I'm very happy with Cooper Rush. It just sucks.
Looking back,
it sucks that you threw all your interceptions all in one game. It seemed, and it was just really off throws. But that's okay, man. We're gonna need him again. I think we're gonna need him again.
Yeah. But me and you had talked about it, I think it was 2 games ago. He threw a couple interceptions. They just weren't caught. Mm-hmm.
The pass.
I'm not here to bash Cooper Rush. He's my backup quarterback, and like you said, the way Dak plays, we're probably going to need him. Hopefully not for a 4-game stretch.
No,
or
I mean,
even
if we get,
playoffs.
well, I'm thinking, even if I could play off for a moment, but I'm not thinking injury. I'm thinking more like we're at the end of the season. We need to, maybe let Dak rest for a second to get to the playoffs. I don't know what situation, but I really feel like maybe we're
Yeah, it
blowing
looks
people
like
out or stuff like that, and then we have
looks
a
like
backup.
that we're going to have to play to the end, which is not a bad thing. Unless
We need that. I think we need that.
Just looking at the schedule, the Eagles have, and ours is easy, but not as easy as the Eagles. I mean, we have to go on the road to Minnesota. Then we have some road games that, it's not the easiest thing to do. Their schedule is ridiculously easy. So there's a good chance that we're going to have to win through the last game, or at least going into that last week. We're not going to have nothing wrapped up, and I think we're going to have 12 wins. The way the schedule is now, we're 4-2. Unless you choke in the next 2 games, you're going to be 6-2 going into the bye, and then we have a nice schedule. Yeah, we have a couple road games that are going to be close, but like I said, we only have 2. If it goes the way I think, we'll only have 2 losses going into the bye.
When I look,
so
even
we
when
can afford a couple more losses.
Yeah, when I look even at the tougher teams,
13 wins.
Yeah, I look at the fact that we can still hang with these guys. I mean, if we're looking at the Eagles, obviously, when I talk about this type of stuff, and you have Eagle fans coming back later on, they're very quick to jump on the fact that you're talking negatively or whatever. They don't want to take one single thing. There's no negative about the team. So, they can come crashing from their pedestal later on in the season. But, we are realistic. We look at a guy like Dalton Schultz. I mean, Mark talked about this earlier today. Right there, I mean, is it a Dak Prescott?
Yeah.
Dalton Schultz going to come alive and revamp his whole career when... Go ahead.
Yeah, now Dalton Schultz needs to take time and get healthy. He's got a PCL. I would be fine if he wouldn't play the next 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like that.
What you saw
Yeah.
from our other 2 tight ends is what me and Phil have been talking about since. We liked them coming out of the draft in Ferguson, but since the preseason, we both saw Hendershot, and we said that we have some really good young. Tight ends, and Ferguson just he just gets open, and he's just a very sound you could tell that his father was a coach because he's a very fundamentally sound player. He's young, he's gonna make some mistakes, but I would let Dalton Schultz get healthy. We don't need him out there hobbling around because he's
So I'm gonna jump on a negative on the I think the only negative I have with the 2 young guys is Hendershot. Hendershot, he seems to average one play that just seems to be like a unnecessary roughness or there's something in there. And I mean, he's just trying to go hard, he's trying to just but it just seems to be it seems to be there, but no, I want to see the young guys play. That's what I was trying to get on with Dalton Schultz. Wasn't the fact that I thought Dalton Schultz, because there were a couple of games ago he was being used as the decoy a lot of the times, opening up other guys. So when I didn't see the stats there, it made sense. But now I just kind of see it, and I'm like, I don't see the stats there, but like I would rather him rest, than. Let him rest at the same time Dak is resting, because obviously Dak, that's his security blanket. But now the timing's kind of going to get it off. So I'm interested to see there. Anybody else on the off?
Getting back to Mike Fisher's thing, he had made, the coaches told the team to treat Jalen Hurts like a running back. And he did a good job. Looking at the stats, the Jalen only ended up with... he didn't end up with much. I think he ended up with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, but the thing about it too, like you hear Eagle fans, they talk about how they just ran
27 yards.
Yeah, they ran all over
us.
Bad. We dominated, ran all over you, and it's like, man, see, like,
listen, the
like
final
your definition
stats,
of ran all over. Then if that's the case, then we did more than just ran all over you last year. So it's like, it doesn't add up. It's
I don't watch all the morning crap because I can't take it, but I did. Like, the narrative is that the Eagles ran all over us. Okay, the Eagles were 15 for 20. No, they ended up with 136 rushing yards. That's what they had as a team, including Hurts. We had 134. So you tell me that they ran all over us? I don't think so. You had Sanders was 18 for 71. and Hurts was 9 for 27. Gainwell was 5 for 25. Elliott was 13 for 81. Zeke Elliott, everybody wants to keep writing him off. He ain't going nowhere, people. He's going to be a Cowboy. He's going to be a Cowboy as long as he's willing, as long as he's not going to take I don't think anybody's going to offer him that much. And the power was 11 for 44. That's production right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's production between the two of them. Just like everybody's saying, the MVP Jalen Hurts.
It just needed to be earlier, because by the time halftime was, it was like 5, Rush had thrown, only complete like 5 passes out of 16 passes, and it was like, man, so
Hurts threw for 155 yards, people.
Yeah. So I mean, he wasn't balling all over the place, and it was just the fact that this offense with the late throws, the picks, the turnovers, all of a sudden put him in position. But once they got the ball at their own 20s, they just couldn't move that ball against his defense. So that's something to say for the future. Now, again, nothing guarantees anything, but nothing guarantees that Dak's going to come in and the offense is just going to move. But we all do know that this offense has better potential. Yes, people talk about, there's, the possibility of interceptions. Well, I mean, the same thing with Diggs. I mean, you have to have that whole, in order to take the gamble, you have to take the risk. And so sometimes that's what happened with Dak. I think the only thing that I don't like about Dak's game now is that since he's gotten the ankle injury, he's thought about more about his future, and he doesn't have that threat of running. But, I mean,
that's
you take it when you can.
Change that. Yeah. That's going to hurt his...
because he's a better
you're going to be judged on hardware. I mean, not how many Pro Bowls you make. You're going to be judged on it, especially in Dallas, if you get a ring or not. Well, they'll call it a Pro Bowl, but whatever it is.
There'll be a trophy type shit. Yeah.
You'll be picked to go to a Pro Bowl and then throw a javelin so you can throw it to further something stupid. But like we were supposed to win the turnover battle, we didn't do that, so that was a fail. But if Parsons, I don't know if you guys noticed, he wasn't 100%. You could tell he wasn't 100%. He was struggling a bit. I felt bad for him because I would say the one thing that the Eagles did that I was impressed with was how they basically read Parsons, and if he was kind of caught in no man's land. If he comes after Hurts, he throws it over the top. Now you can play his zone defense with that, and then next time, just remember this: it'll be in Big D. It'll be different. They won't be having all this momentum. Dallas, come on now. Everybody can see it now. As Dallas will roll in that game. It won't be in 5 minutes to go, white knuckle. That's just my opinion. But we got plenty of time before we get to that. But just a shout out to Dak. I'm wearing the Dak hat. He just came out. He will be cleared tomorrow, and he will practice on Wednesday. So Dak is back, and it's at a perfect time.
Let's jump on some of this chat stuff, because I'm seeing these things like here. Angelica Barone just said the E-Girls are so beatable. And that's true. When you look at the rest of the NFC, as of right now, obviously it's week 6. We're going to get our starting quarterback back. Hopefully at some point we can get a left tackle that would be really good. That would be a good swing possible tackle, because you don't want to bring anybody out of their rhythm. I don't know. We'll see what happens there if Tyron Smith is able to come back. But when you look at this team, I mean, you beat the Rams. That means you can do that later on. You've beaten teams like the Giants. You see Green Bay kind of struggling.
Everybody was talking about the Niners.
49ers.
What happened to them?
Look at it happened in Atlanta. So, I mean, sitting at where we're at, and the team that everybody wants to pick is whatever the Eagles, we understand the path that lies in front of us right there. So I'm not saying that, hey, we got the blueprint and everything. I'm just saying that as true Cowboy fans, you understand what you saw in front of you, the pick. You take those stuff away. You take some of the referee stuff away. I mean, I don't bring those things up, but man, it does get ridiculous sometimes when you're not calling touchdowns and you're taking away interception stuff. Like it's ridiculous. You're affecting the game a lot.
I mean, I think we had 10 penalties for over 100 yards, or right around 100 yards. That can't happen.
Yeah,
You can't get 10 penalties.
so I mean,
A lot of stupid shit too.
yeah, I try not to bring that stuff up, but it does matter. I mean, those things do matter and they affect the game. But
Well, when
the
they
reason
have
why I don't,
two,
yeah, is I reason why I don't try to, yeah. And then you got Parsons' jerseys all ripped to the hell. It's like, what? You think
yeah,
they did it because they were doing kisses on his shoulder pads? Like, no, man,
yeah.
they're ripping the crap
Just
out of it.
like at the end of the game, I didn't like. You had Kelsey. The play was over, and he's finishing over the pile. That's how
Yeah, I
people
saw
get
that.
hurt.
I saw that, and then
But yeah, that's how people get
freaking
hurt.
went for him.
Okay, so Osa took him. I mean, he, did a
And this
double
is
leg
and this is the
takedown.
same guy that likes to talk about the class of the fans and supposedly how
But nobody said that. Collinsworth was up Eagles' ass because the Eagles hate him because he.
Well, no.
You know.
Well, Kels, he came out in the week and
Yeah,
talked about the
Kelsey.
different.
Oh,
Kelsey.
yeah.
He was
I'm
talking
saying
about
last
that.
night, but like,
Yeah. Oh no.
Collinsworth didn't say that
no.
Kelsey took it too far. These guys are 300 pounds. You can't be. Yeah. The running back is on the ground. There's no reason to continue your block over the pile.
Yeah, my whole
It was
thing is that
stupid.
it's fine if you want to play like that, but don't be offended and don't be insulted when the guy comes back at you. You know, like this is a rivalry, man. You're gonna do that to the bell, or the whistle, or whatever. Yeah, that's fine. But I don't mind the extra stuff. I don't want to see any jersey swapping.
Yeah. Angelica Barone, I like where the Cowboys are sitting right now. Yeah. Angelica, I'm with you. Yeah, I understand we're third. Eagles are 2 ahead of us, so we can't, we need to win the games that we're supposed to win, and we'll be really fine. I'm telling you, if you look at the schedule, I don't want to get ridiculous, but maybe 2 more losses. I mean, I'm being real serious when I say that. As long as we don't choke, and then you do the math.
You
how
always
many
know.
wins does that give
You know how
us?
the NFL is. I mean, you see teams like, for example, there's no way I would have picked Atlanta to beat the 49ers.
Oh yeah.
And so then you see that and you're just like, man, okay, wow, that's a week to week type of league. So obviously here at 4 to 5 weeks, who's going to be the number one? Who are we going to be talking about? Is it going to be some team like Atlanta?
Things are going to change quick. That's how it works in the NFL. People are going to see how we played the Eagles in the second half, and they're going to start doing that.
Yeah.
And we got Cowboys, right? Kelsey was doing too much, absolutely. And Angelica, I was going to get to this point. What's the deal with the stupid ass head coach's mouth? Listen, he is a loud mouth. He just wants to be he wants everybody to love him. He thinks that if the Eagles fans like him, that he's not going nowhere. Well, I got news for you. If you choke in the playoffs like you did last year, this year, you're probably going to be gone. I mean, if you get blown out the way you did, in Tampa, he was literally in the tunnel.
Yeah, well, I mean, you saw him where he was saying stuff at the end. He was even saying stuff at the end of the game, like he had anything to do with that outcome. Like that's what's
Mary Alvarez. Hey, Mary, how are you?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was in the tunnel saying, "How about them Eagles? Yeah. How about them Cowboys?" The whole Jimmy Johnson thing. Yeah. That's our line.
I like what Jeff
What are you doing? Be
Jeff
original.
Kavanaugh said about it. I like what Jeff said about it. No, it's true, man. I like what Kavanaugh said.
I got the ladies in here. I don't want to curse, but it's just ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah, look at that. Cowboy says just another Chip Kelly. You're not too far off of that, man.
Hey,
you are not too far
remember
off.
they were calling him Chip-a-Check, like Belichick, but chipped. They were calling him Chip-a-Check around here. Yeah, how'd that work out for you? You get too emotional, like this coach gets. You can only bring your players back so many times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't just keep going. Like the old Rudy speech. We're gonna run inside. We're gonna run outside. We're gonna go across our goal line. No, that's not. I mean, this ain't Rudy. This is the NFL, and you can't keep doing these rah speeches. I mean, at some point,
remember,
you need
it's only the rah during this week. It's not rah any other week, and I think that's what's funny.
It seems like
yeah.
Yeah, well, this is true. This is what I was, talking to Philly about. Just like my cousin, who's still hasn't gotten back to me on Facebook. Prior to the game, he posted something, looking back, saying his most memorable Eagles game is when they stopped Emmitt Smith again on 4th down. They stopped him again, like with Barry Switzer, and. I was at the game, and it was frustrating because we ran into the line. They stopped us all 4 times. I said, well, that's great that was your most memorable moment, but that was '95, so that was your memorable moment. Our memorable moment was winning the Super Bowl that very same year. So you won that game, we won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I haven't heard nothing. Now he was, I mean how it is. I mean they think they won a Super Bowl. I'm glad they're happy. I'm not taking anything away from their win.
No.
Eagles.
They
were
won
impressive.
They won in the end.
Look at the end. I got news for you. If Dak Prescott plays, you lose. Bottom line, you can't tell me anything. I was actually happy after that game. Yeah, I knew I'd have to hear it, but thank God I was off today, so I didn't have to hear it. But if Dak plays, we win. I'm sorry. That's my opinion.
And that's what I want to see him here in the next couple of games. I want to see him start to get into a rhythm. Whether he's rusty coming back, he's got training and practice and all that kind of stuff. Especially getting involved with people after practice. So I mean, I don't worry too much about the timing. But I do worry about the rust in the sense of stepping up into the pockets and those type of things. But I'm interested to see this team. Even if he is rusty, it'll give him a couple of games to kind of get into a rhythm, and that's what I want to see.
I'm not lying to you when I say I'm concerned about this game coming up.
Yeah, I mean the Lions
not necessarily to win, but this is a game we could drop the ball. We better not have a hangover.
Well, I mean,
you better pull your.
It's not even that.
Your bootstraps and get ready to go.
Because the Lions, when you look at the Lions can score on offense, and they do have a bad defense. So I mean,
I think they just came off a bye, right? I mean, they have a bye this week, right?
Maybe.
Did the Lions play?
I want to say they had a bye. I want to say they had a bye as well.
Yeah. So it's not, it's scary in the sense that they can put up points and Dak's coming back and we're going to have to hit the ground running. It all starts with you running the ball. They're like one of the worst defenses in the league. I think everybody can get healthy this week. But, I still think we're going to win, but it may not be the blowout or what people want to see. I don't give a crap. And then we have Chicago after that? Chicago ain't beating us.
Yeah,
FYI, Chicago ain't beating us.
Yeah.
So let's just worry about the Lions. We'll take care of Chicago, and then we'll go into the bye 6-2.
Yeah,
so that's where I'm at, man. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. So I mean, again, when I look around with Cowboy Nations, again, I think Eagle fans again are more, they just have that upsetness about that. We're just, we understand what was going on there. So I'm interested to see this. Again, the Christmas Eve game you have over here, and then the I'm trying to remember when when's the next rivalry?
Cowboys.
Who's our next opponent for the rivalry? Is it Washington or New York?
I could look at the schedule. I mean, we're trying to.
Yeah, because you got New York. I'm interested to see what New York does here in the next couple of weeks. I mean, that was a very impressive come from behind. But I said this, man. If they could stay in the game, I said that New York was a second half team. That's just how they are. They kind of and the only team they ever stopped them was the Cowboys, because by the second half the defense has kind of figured out what they need to do, and that's where they couldn't do their come from behind like they had been doing in almost every single game. So that's the difference right there between the defenses of what they've been, going against compared to ours. So I mean, give them props. I'm just interested to see if they continue the roll, if it doesn't start to drop, if Daniel Jones can continue on. I mean, I'm in that background watching these. At the same time, I want to see what happens with the contracts. I want to see if they commit to these guys for the next 4 to 5 years, where they can just bring in some kind of guy that, Aaron Rodgers is not at the Green Bay Packers, and can we grab him? So if you got your money dumped into somebody else that we all know, come on, man, as Cowboy Nations, we're not scared of Daniel Jones, and we're definitely not scared of Jalen Hurts. So if they want to lock those guys up, we are definitely all about them locking them up. And, they aren't bad, terrible quarterbacks. They've been actually playing pretty good this year, but again, I always am very aware of the contract years. Contract years is always kind of the iffiness, and how many times have we stuck our foot in our mouth in the sense of paying somebody that we thought was going to be really good, and because of a contract year, and then I mean, who's the guy? There was a guy that played across from DeMarcus Ware, Anthony Spencer. Yeah. I mean, he was just
went
nowhere.
And
all of a
made
sudden,
his guaranteed money, and then he's done.
Then that was it, and that's all you heard from him. So,
Looking at our schedule, Phil, like I said, this week it's Detroit at Dallas. We just need to win that game. I don't really care, And then you beat Chicago. Our two hardest games the rest of the year, in my opinion, are right after the bye. Mm-hmm. It's at Green Bay. After a bye, Green Bay ain't what they think. I think we're going to be good in that game, and it's not that late. It's early, mid-November.
Yeah, so hopefully they haven't gotten on the rhythm or anything.
And then we play Minnesota at Minnesota. That'll be a tough game, but just remember, people, we only have 2 losses now, okay? Then listen to this. Thanksgiving, home against the Giants.
Okay, that's what
home against
Thanksgiving.
Home against the Colts. And home against the Texans. That's 3 games in a row at home.
Very winnable. Yeah.
Then it's at Jacksonville, and all right.
Yep, and that's the one I'm going to make sure I go to. That's what I'm going to make sure I go to.
If you're going, I may go up for that one.
Yeah.
And then against the Eagles, and then we're at Tennessee and at the Commanders. I mean, it's not a hard schedule.
Not a terrible schedule. Not a terrible schedule.
But getting to the chat here, I see we got.
I love we jumped into this thing.
Yeah, we got Randy Wilson. If Eagles are the best in the NFC, I feel good about
our chances. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
Truth. That's the very truth, and that's the thing about it. That's why Cowboy Nation walks around with their head high today. Because yes, we understand that this is a team that we can definitely beat. There was a lot of chips that were stacked against us, so it's like. It definitely gets a positive. San Francisco I can see because, San Francisco can be good one week and terrible the next week and then good one week. And then, so you don't know what San Francisco team is going to show up. So you might have that. You got Green Bay, obviously. Aaron Rodgers can be Aaron Rodgers at some point. But he doesn't have enough weapons on the team to continue. Because before, at least Aaron Rodgers had Adams. It just doesn't seem like there's a wide receiver out there wanting that ball as much. So even all the other teams, Rams, you don't know what's going to happen by the end of the year. But you can just tell that team is definitely struggling.
Kentucky, what's up, buddy?
Definitely struggling to find its identity.
Yeah. We just gotta put. These players. We're very young on offense. We really are. We're so young, which is exciting. But there's growing pains. Like I was telling Philly 500, we gotta. I'm okay with going through growing pains and still winning ugly for now. I'm okay. We just need to win some games. But I was thinking about something. What do you guys think? I think after, look, we've played a few games now. I want to go after, don't yell at me, chat, but I want to hear your opinion. I want to go after, who that's out there.
DJ Moore?
No.
OBJ?
Yeah.
I would not be against that. I would not be against that.
I want to go after him. He's going to be getting healthy soon. He's not there. I'm talking
third receiver. Like just
dude, he's going to be you saw what he did for the Rams. You have all this money now. This is why you have that kind of money. You could offer him $2-3 million, to finish out the year, probably more than anybody else is going to be able to offer him. And
well, if you look at the past 2 Super Bowl teams, they've had that star third receiver, and I'm not saying our first 2 are stars, but by the end of the season, you're hoping Gallup is still fully healthy. Maybe a James Washington that stepped up, you got, of course, CeeDee Lamb.
I forgot about him, but still.
But I think, OBJ. To me, I think James Washington will just be another, again, I keep saying this, so I'm hoping I'm saying this right with the same thing as I feel with the Ferguson when we got him, how he's going to be a blocker and he'll be able to get that future. And then, boom, you look at this game and this is just adding on to the pieces. So when I look at those young...
Yeah, I hear you, Weed.
What's he saying?
We haven't seen James Washington.
Yeah, we still haven't seen him. So to me, he's the relief of Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup, to me, when the Dallas Cowboys were trying to draft, Michael Gallup, they looked at James Washington because there was a lot of similarities there. And so he's going to be another sideline. So when Gallup comes out, Washington can be in there. There's 2 sideline guys that can... You see Gallup's in his sidelines antics. That's just stuff ridiculous.
Yeah. Do we want to see OBJ go to Buffalo? I think he'll get lost in Buffalo. It'll help.
Yeah, he'll get lost behind that Super Bowl ring. God damn.
Yeah. I think you're right, but that's what I'm saying. The Rams are saying
but they got 2 good receivers there too. You got Diggs, obviously, and then you got Gabe. Davis.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Gabe Davis.
Yeah, so I mean that third receiver would be amazing for them as well. So yeah, that's not a bad thing.
That's what the talk.
But I think
right, Mark. I like Washington. I just we need to see it.
I thought he put on a lot more weight.
Forget about him.
Yeah, he was looking good.
He looks a little. Yeah. So if he steps up, I'm fine with that. I'm just looking ahead because I know.
Mary Alvarez. She's like, I'm okay with OBJ, but OBJ don't want us.
You don't think so?
I don't know, man.
I think everybody wants us, man.
To me, it just seems like his type of market. It's like Dion coming to Dallas. It's like, it's just, now he's on the main stage, So it's obviously.
He knows that we don't normally pay a lot, but he ain't going to get a lot this year. Sorry, the Rams can't pay him a lot. That's why he's not already there. They lowballed him. That's the one thing, Catboy. I'm not going to give him credit for that as much as we have the most available. Now, we're not going to have to give that much, but, if I'm okay with bringing him in for a look-see, you see where he's at, if he's interested, maybe just having a dialogue, seeing what James Washington does, and then maybe revisiting it.
So are you saying they should do their due diligence?
Do their due diligence. Player acquisition is a 365-day-a-year job.
Yeah, just making sure.
Isn't that what Catboy says?
Yeah.
Weed. Yeah, he is a country boy from Texas. I like him. I really liked him, but he hasn't been there. He's always seems to be hurt. So
that's true, and I think that's what going into the season we saw Gallup.
I don't think another weapon's gonna hurt. That's all I'm saying.
No, no. I think we need to get another tight end, if anything. I think maybe because I do like Ferguson, I do like Henderson. I think again I'm with you. Dalton Schultz kind of does need a rest, or I don't know, man.
Well, we got the other guy who had a catch
McKeon?
last night.
McKeon, right?
Yeah, I think we're good in tight end. If we got to go young, we go young.
Yeah, I just want to get another one in the next draft and just let Schultz kind of walk.
Oh, yeah.
Let him go to the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm sorry, people. I'm not. Unless he comes back and lights it up, which is very possible. Which is why I want him to take the next 2 weeks off, and he come back after the bye, fully healthy, and I want him to show us what he's got. He's playing for a contract. He can say all he wants. Somebody else can give him a lot of money. I don't see it happen if he has a shitty year. He's not going to get franchise money.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion. Somebody with a lot of cap, but they're probably not going to be very good.
Man, Stephen Jones and them are probably just salivating, seeing that the season is going terrible for him, and hoping that they're like, maybe we can sign him for a couple of years, and so we'll see. I'm interested because even Schultz will probably want to rebet on himself. Maybe even if he does stay and he has a crappy year, he'll probably just want to sign a 1-year deal, which you know how we are about our 1-year deals. Yeah. But I'm interested. Defense,
like Leighton Vander Esch.
Yeah, let's talk about this defense a little bit, man. Let's talk about
you got it.
Now, how
I touched everything I wanted to touch on. Let's delve into other stuff.
So we were talking about Micah Parsons in general. The defensive line. I like the attitude that was coming with later on. That you were put in some bad situations. The RPOs are really. That's hard. The linebackers need to be able to react well to that. And so I think, the linebackers going into this game weren't on their best. Barr was getting eaten up by the run a lot of the times before. LVE was kind of just slow to react. Even though LVE has been doing well, he has been slow to react a little bit. I
think Vander Esch is here to stay.
Oh, I love him being here. I love him being a backup. I don't mind it.
He's not going to get a huge money, and he's our best tackler, but
he'll wrap it up and everything like that. So I don't mind it too much. But we as a Cowboy Nation, we want to see guys like Cox, Jabril Cox, and we don't.
I want to see
Damone Clark.
Yeah, Damone Clark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're in that injury type thing. We got like a week or two left
right now. Yeah, we're really stacked. With linebacking right now. And I don't see anybody not coming back. I wouldn't even say Barr is a linebacker. He's been playing. He is, but with our two safeties,
he's like a Von Miller light linebacker kind of.
Yeah, our two safeties. I don't want to see either one of them go. I love our secondary. Other than, is everybody as annoying? Or as annoyed with Anthony Brown as I am? Is he playing trail technique?
I expected a huge year from him.
I mean,
Yeah.
listen, Jordan Lewis is Jordan Lewis, and he makes plays here and there. But I think this is the last year of his contract. I don't know what's going to happen.
Now
but
with
Anthony
Bland, I think with
Brown,
Bland doing his thing, I think you could see Jordan Lewis
I'm
walk
more
out the door.
excited to see Bland. If this is how they're going to play, then put Bland in.
Yeah.
If this is how they're going to play, if they're going to, Anthony Brown is so fast, but we're constantly playing, trail technique because he's afraid to get beat deep. But, I mean, we do have Malik Hooker back there. Maybe take a little chances, stay a little closer. I don't know. Is it me? Am I being too hard on Anthony Brown?
No, I think you're with Cowboy Nations. I mean, we understand that he's good, but it just seems like it's every single game. Yeah, it's like
he's hot and cold.
Yeah, all of a sudden, one game he'll pull it on, but then the next game it's just penalties, and then the next game there's always one or two big plays. So I'm with you. He does ball at times. I don't necessarily want him, but I don't want him being number 2. That's the problem. Is that I don't want him being the slot corner either. So I mean, being your 4th or 5th corner, that's where I would love Anthony Brown. I mean, but that would mean that you would need to get some quality corners in here, and I'm liking that Joseph again is on the special teams. Hopefully, taking a CJ.
I'm tired of his act though. He keeps making these stupid penalties, bro.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of the problems with a lot of these guys. Is that
you're ticking me off. That's a good word. You're ticking me off, dude. Because you get out there, you are a very good special teamer. It seems like anytime he's on defense, he has some kind of penalty.
Yeah.
I mean, he needs play time. I get it. Because we need to find out if he's going to be on our defense. Because I'm just frustrated with these other 2 guys. Now that being said, our defense is phenomenal. I'm being greedy here, but
you always want to improve
on a little slant. We got a safety behind it. Let's be a little aggressive. I don't know about you, but how many times do we see guys jumping in front of balls that should be intercepted? That's probably literally like the 4th one this year that it goes right through the hands.
Mm-hmm.
Don't jump in front of the receiver unless you're going to catch the ball. I mean, I applaud the effort, but I never see anything like it. Everybody's missing, including Diggs. You're breaking on a pass and it's going through your hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
I think you need to get to the jugs machine or something.
So really, honestly, that was the really part, because when I look at the defensive line, I mean, there's things they could have done, but honestly, I'm very happy with the people that we have. When you look at the linebackers, I mean, there's always a guy that you could have had that, I think none of us are really that disappointed that Bobby Wagner now. I was still 2 weeks into the season, I was still kind of Bobby Wagner, but then as you see him kind of doing, I think the best tackle you've seen him make is obviously the guy that was streaking around the field with the smoke. So and then he gets a lawsuit for that one. But Von Miller, obviously I was bit, but the tag that came with him, was he worth it? Would have been nice to see him across, with D-Law and Parsons. Oh hell yeah, that would have been amazing to watch. But Barr, you got you got your bargain basement clearance section that Stephen Jones likes to shop in, and you happen to find something very nice there. So anything else that you would like to cover about this game as we go ahead, once we finish this broadcast, we push this game behind us, because now I'm already thinking about the Lions. I am already thinking about the Lions. So and I think a lot of
I love weed. Do we dare trade for a CB? We're not trading for a CB this year. Like I said, we got Deron Bland, who's the kid. Like, the sky's the limit for this kid. He's just so young. I think he's 20. So I think we're good. Like I don't know if I was telling Phil or Mark, like looking ahead to next year in the draft, just take the best player available. But I would, if it's like a real good cornerback that's there, I mean, I think we could use depth there. Kelvin Joseph is a question. We got Diggs, but then who's that next stud? Unless you're going to go sign somebody, that's a possibility. I would say take the best player available and you go from there. I don't think we're in the tackle market anymore. I think they like Cam McGovern going forward. You're not going to take a guard in the first round.
Maybe center.
I actually think Biotis is doing good this year.
Yeah, I will agree. But why not have him a good backup
in the system? Remember, we got Alec Lindstrom. I think that's his name, Alec.
Yeah, Alec Lindstrom.
Yeah. Alec Lindstrom, and he's got a big upside. So I think, Steele. Come on now.
You're doing better, man.
My
I like
Steele
to
is
see
playing his
it.
ass off. Did you see him flatten the like he swing out to the right, like at the end of the game? And it's a shame that the linebacker came in, but he hit the back and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson or the safety, and he flew like 5 yards. He's playing good.
I love Weeds. I'm trying to win now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not
yeah.
against getting a corner. I mean, if it would be a star corner to go on the opposite side, give me somebody on the opposite side of Diggs. Somebody like I'm. When I look at our safeties,
with you, Weed, but
who? But other position would probably be maybe a wide receiver. But yeah, so I mean, maybe a possible wide receiver, but maybe more of a gadget type. I mean, you got Turpin there that I'm still waiting. I'm not disappointed. I mean, again, a lot of
he's so close.
He is. He's very close.
He actually fell over his own feet last night.
Oh yeah, and that kickoff, the initial kickoff, I was like, he knew it.
Close, people.
But it's going to eventually come in at a key point. Once he gets the everything down, I really like it. Especially, I got to give Bones his credit, man.
He's here to stay for a while.
Yeah, I got to give Bones his credit.
Impressive.
It's just he's got the special teams playing, man. The blocking, I'm really liking the blocking.
Armstrong, did you see him?
Dorrance is doing. Man.
I know. We just keep bringing up. There's a lot of positives last night. There's
a
lot of positives.
There are.
So I mean, as ugly as it was, and I was blowing Phil up a little bit. He was probably getting annoyed with him a little bit. I'm more reactionary, and he's the guy that's gonna, think it through and calm everybody down. I'm gonna go in swinging and then deal with it later. I was not happy when we were down 20-0.
So as Bryan and I'm like, oh man, I'm seeing this. I go, man, we can come back in the second half. I said, this is a different thing. I go, so we'll see how the second half.
Voice. That's what I was doing.
I would choose to watch the linebacker over the corner.
Yeah.
If you're not playing, show us it. Yeah, Captain Taki, I would choose a wide receiver, linebacker over a corner. And I just, AB, if not Bland, show us that he can do the job. Yeah, I mean, I like Bland.
The one thing
I'll
say about a corner, you could bring a corner in right away, and he don't miss it. It's not like bringing it. Sometimes bringing a receiver takes a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
especially with the defensive line how it's playing. I wouldn't doubt that you even have that corner.
Like what the Steelers did a couple of years ago, like 3 years ago, with the Cleveland corner, the Browns corner. He just retired. I can't think of his name, but yeah. You want Sidney Jones? No, he's in Miami, I think. Sidney Jones, where he was an Eagle pick. So for that, yeah. But anyway, I'm okay, people. I hope everybody else is. Keep your head up.
You got to hear it. You're gonna have to hear it now. They're gonna keep going, and unfortunately, it's a fuel for them. You just kind of like, let them have their pedestal, because honestly, it's just. And when you can look at your own team and know when you need to improve, and that's where Bryan was talking about. Hayden. He's not trying to. Oh,
good call.
Yeah,
that was Joe Hayden. Yeah. Something like that. But yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you threw me off with the Hayden thing.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
No. And then some of this thing you hear. Obviously, let's go back as well too. You hear Carson Wentz obviously having a surgery. So I mean, that gives. Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, he's going under. He's going to go ahead and have his surgery. Something about Thursday. Yeah, so he's going to go ahead and get surgery done. So that means what? Heineke.
Yeah, that might actually help.
I think so. Yeah, I mean he's a game manager, so I mean.
Yeah.
He'll give you a little bit of spark.
He can make some plays. He can scramble around. Carson looks like he's running around in mud. So I think that could be good. Yeah, I'm not going to get into the Eagles' schedule right now because I'm still, but I think maybe Saturday we'll go, we'll look ahead a little bit.
Yeah, but, I think so as well, too.
We're playing a team like Detroit, and it's blah, blah game, but I sure hope that the team is going to be ready to go. Yeah. You need to be ready to go. Don't look at their record. They can put up some points now.
Yeah, I just think it's a really good one to bring Dak back. I think it just sucks that, that we're going into it with Dak, coming off of that loss. But at the same time, again, I think we're all on the same page when it says that it kind of shuts people up that were, hey, we should keep Dak and keep Coop in there because of the winning, and now he just knocks all that out, gets it, resets it, and they're like, let's go forward.
That's probably why they did it. Yeah, they'll never admit it, but it was a tough spot. It was just one of those tough spot games, and they almost friggin' won. People, they almost won, but giving up 3 turnovers, not having Dak, being down 20-0, and we were 20-17 with 5 minutes to go in the game. Philly 500 was crapping a brick.
Yeah, I mean,
and they came in. Yeah, really? To their credit, they put
that was a good pick. That was actually
there.
A good pick at that one. That one was the pick that I thought was okay. They earned that pick. But there were so many things leading up to it. I mean, there's so many like non-challenging the calls. I like the fact
that was a first down, by the way. That was a first down, easy.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of stuff there, but it all adds up together. So you can't just point at one little thing. But it definitely did add all together, and it was against us. But again, you can only overcome so many things when you have a backup quarterback. But I tweeted right in the halftime, I'm interested to see what this team does the second half because it's going to say a lot, and they definitely shut. I didn't think that Coop could honestly be down a couple of scores and be able to make a comeback, and so he was able to show me that there was something there. Obviously, it was just a really bad night. What's that?
No, go ahead. I got to stop cutting you off.
No. They gave up 4 turnovers. It's true, man.
Yeah, USMC.
Yeah.
Shout out, brother.
So I mean, there's a lot of positive out of the negative. So I mean, again, we keep repeating the same thing over and over again, but I think it's because it's true. It rings true through the whole game, whether it's any part of it, any part that you look at it. We can definitely win that battle. So anything you would like to talk?
My question to you,
go ahead.
Yeah, well, my question to you is, I'll come up with something. What do you take out of that? Just end it by what do you take out of the game from last night, and what can we look forward to? And then I'll do the same thing. Or do you want me to go first?
You go first. Go first.
All right. I take out of the game last night how our offensive line played. With all those new pieces, did we hear Tyler Smith? Did we hear him at all? He had like maybe 1 or 2 bad snaps. And McGovern played well. So well that, the 40-year-old guy couldn't get on the field. I mean, he's still working his way back. I'm very encouraged with that O-line. Our defense is going to be good. Our defense was on the field way too much in the first half, and I think it had an effect by the end of the game. That's where Dak coming back and getting first downs. Remember, I said you don't need to get points, but you need to get some first downs, not just 3 and out. Mm-hmm. I don't care how many people you bring in. You're not going to have continuity if you're always on the field. You're going to get tired. So I take out. I'm very excited with our O-line and our running game. It was very impressive how Zeke ran the ball, and I'm excited for the rest of the year. We just got to get through this next game because I hope we don't have a hangover. Okay. So I think it's positive.
So when I take out the game, hearing it is, I think last year I've seen Dak do this a couple of times where this team all of a sudden that beginning it just 3 and out. It's just bad. All of a sudden, Dak throws the interception to open the drive up in the game. Just something that's negative. And I've seen this team go behind, and this is within this this past 2 years with his defense. But I've seen all of a sudden a gear get switched by halftime, and I have to really honestly believe that it has a lot to do with adjustments and coaching. Now, obviously, you have to have the talent to be able to do what they're doing. But the fact is that this team, once it comes out, it's usually a different team. And I like that because I've seen so many times under Jason Garrett where this team never did anything. They just ran their game plan, and they came out the second half and they did the exact same thing as they did in the first half. And so you didn't learn anything. So when I look at this coaching staff, the fact that they were down by 20, almost 20, 20 points.
They didn't panic.
And they didn't panic. That's the thing about it. I see that
comes out, man. Yeah. They make adjustments.
Yeah, I see Dak do this before where they've been down and they come back. And I don't like the fact that they have to do this and stuff, but they can do it. And they can do it with a possible backup quarterback as well because he understands the system. It's not just the talent around it. No. But you need other guys to also do their job in order to, make this offense work. It has to be everybody doing their job, because I think it's not like previous years where you had the dominating offensive line where, you had the time to just throw it to your receivers. You had an amazing wide receiver that could get open all the time, it seemed, except for the zone. And you had a CeeDee Lamb that was complimenting him. So there was a lot of things in this offense, and you have obviously Gallup, complimenting them. So, and of course you had an amazing tight end. So there was a whole bunch of stuff to this offense, and now you don't have that. So, I like the fact, again, so I'm sorry this is getting real winded, but this team can come back. I seen this again. This team where they just don't do anything. They get blown out.
Tell you.
Yeah.
I told you not to get down more than 2 scores, and if we could be close at halftime, just rewind that, and let's say we're within 3 points at halftime. Who wins the game? Mm-hmm. We win that game. Okay. What was the halftime score? What was it? 20-3.
Yeah, it was like. 23.
Yeah,
23. Yeah, they went.
I think it was
they scored a field goal at the
end.
We
were not close going into.
No, and so that's where and then the Eagles had the ball opening it up
at halftime.
Yeah,
we weren't.
No.
We didn't. We didn't come out ready to go. And I'm not going to keep throwing him under the bus, but Cooper Rush didn't show up early. He was. To his credit. His wife probably yelled at him because we heard that she flew in. She probably said, "Yo, get your head out of here, Keister, and you start moving the ball." And that's probably what happened. Once the lady says something, you either do it or you're in trouble. So
you got the United States Marine Corps over here talking about it. He goes, "I think that they gave about the 4 turnovers, and there was like 13 points right off with the turnovers." And you're right, man. Like right off the bat, like you saw what this defense was able to do against the Rams when they all of a sudden, boom, they got a turnover, the score. All of a sudden, there's a field goal off the block punt, boom. Now there's pressure on them. And so the fact that there was the pressure and you were still able to kind of push that to the side and just play the game. I mean, sometimes when you're looking, they're watching the clock, but this team doesn't seem to do that. They just seem to just go out each drive. Yeah. And I think it really has to do, and you've heard this quote before, but Dan Quinn was talking about Mike McCarthy, and he doesn't ride the roller coaster. He just kind of just evens, like just
puts his
plays
head
the game
down and goes to the next play. Yeah.
And so I have to admire that, man. I love that this team can do that. And so, where I feel like with Garrett, I didn't, if I turned off the TV and I turned it back on, it was the same thing. Where now I feel like I turn off the TV, I come back, and all of a sudden we're down by 3, something like that. It's just, this team is a different team. I love it. I love the atmosphere, the swagger, the everything, and I like it. I love the culture that this Dallas defense has, and what it's leaked into the offense as well. Because I mean that slowly pushed over to the offense. The fact that they're competing touchdowns and interceptions and all that kind of stuff. I love it. I love it. So this is definitely a team.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the girlfriend, wifey Jinx. Yeah, I hear you, Weed. Yeah, now you got me. I lost my train of thought, Weed. I had a good comment, but So I'm ultimately I'm excited about the future. Like I said, I think we're going to be fine. We're going to pile up some wins. It's just let's just take them one. I know I'm getting ahead, but that's what we do, right?
It's true. It's only week 6.
A Romo moment. Yeah,
it's only week 6, man.
Moments.
Yeah, so. The fact that we're not the fact that we didn't have our backup quarterback come in and now we're 2-4. I mean, we could easily have been that. So I mean,
exactly. We're in it big time. But just real quick, I was watching Marks. I was in and out. I checked in the Marks and I was checking out Philly, and I tell you right now what Philly 500 was upset about. They were up 20-0. He was feeling himself. Their win, they know deep down that if Dak was there, they lose. He was not happy at the end of the game because it didn't look good at the end. Yeah, they won the game, but you struggled to beat a guy who was throwing the ball up for grabs in Cooper Rush. Yeah, he had a couple good drives, but you couldn't stop our run. You couldn't. He wanted to blow us out. He wanted to blow us out, and that's what I was afraid of. I did say there was that potential to get blown out, and we were getting blown out. And like the chat said, we came back and fought back, like JoJo says. Yeah. So let's leave it on that. Jack Meeker, I guess Finally, thank you. There he is.
2 good games, man. Yeah, but a bye week, so it's just like I look forward to this upcoming week. I like the fact.
6-2, Jack.
Do we hear
6-2.
tomorrow, right? We're here tomorrow with a Dak, because I mean, we obviously got to know that he's going into this. Medically clear,
already been,
right?
Yeah, he'll be medically cleared tomorrow. He's going to practice on Wednesday.
Okay.
Let's just run the ball.
Yeah, don't give him too many things. Yeah,
and ease him in. But I think he's going to. He knows what it takes to win. James Nooks. What's up, my man? Everybody's popping in now.
Yeah, man.
I can't believe we've been going for an hour. I figured this would be a short one.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like 15, 20 minutes.
I feel better.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. It is what it is. I mean, like, if people are here, I feel bad.
You got to understand, man. Like, Bryan told me this morning, like, look, man, he's like, tell me when you have that thumbnail because I want to be able to share it. And you can tell he wanted to talk about some shit. And so with me, I'm just like dragging out of the bed.
I was off today, people. I was doing a lot around the house. I got a lot accomplished, but at the end of the day, let's get this game behind us, man. This is a rough week.
It was. I'm ready for Detroit. I'm ready for Detroit.
Yeah,
I think Cowboy Nation as well too. So I want to thank the chat for coming in. Of course, you guys are amazing. You guys have great content. You guys tell us some stuff, and I love it because you guys have some good feedback. You guys have some great insight. So obviously, for the future people that come in and watch the video, let them know, Game Time Bryan, where they can find you if they haven't already.
Yeah, I haven't done much there. I was thinking about doing a video later tonight, maybe tomorrow, about these bandwagon Cowboys fans who are giving up, and I might do a little something for that. So stay tuned. Game Time Bryan on YouTube as well as on Twitter.
And down in the chat,
pretty much everybody.
Not down in the chat.
Hey, JoJo.
In the description, I have his linked in there. So if you want to look.
JoJo, James Nooks, I Love Weed. Look me up on Twitter. I don't think I have you guys. I'd like to start including you guys into some stuff. Take Cowboys, USMC. Just look up me and Prime on Twitter because we're always putting out stuff, and you'll get a heads up of what's going on.
Yeah, man. Of course, you'll find us here. You'll find us here on Saturdays at 7 p.m. We try to make it consistent. And Bryan,
stay tuned.
And Bryan's bothering me about a possible halftime. Maybe jumping in.
I just said, just maybe do a halftime. I don't know what people think about maybe doing a 5 minute to go in the second quarter. Just through a halftime, just to kind of review what we've seen.
And what they need to improve on, stuff like that. Yeah,
I mean,
what we could see in the second half, because there are some stuff that me and you talk about. And we see it come true, so it would be nice to.
I was saying, how like we predict, like I know I'm normally all over it. I'm sorry, but I'm just playing. But it would be nice to like vent. If I tell you right now, it's probably good that we didn't do it last night because I really, all
right, come on, back off the. I was like, I was just like, hey man, just watch it, you little. And so it would have been the whole time like that.
Let me just.
And then
2 hours later.
I totally get it, man. I'd have been like, all right, back down. Like, we still have a chance. And so,
I'm an emotional guy.
You're like, no, Phil, you don't get it. Like,
hey, Angelica, I know she's a dog person. Since I have her in here, did you check out that movie Dog on Amazon Prime?
Hey man, I told you got to watch that one, The Dog's Journey and the Dog's Purpose. You got to watch that, man. Trust me, you're gonna love it.
I was literally crying. The older I get, the more I was. It was a happy movie, but I was caught up. So if you haven't seen it, Angelica, check out. It's called Dog on Amazon Prime. It's good. It's good. So that's my tip. That's my movie of the week.
All right.
That's all I got for you.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. I'm pretty sure I'll see all you guys in the chats, whether it's Mark's, whether it's any of those Cowboy channels. I'm definitely, I love chatting with you guys. I appreciate you guys coming through. And for the other guys, please hit the like on your way out. Please share if you can. And don't forget to always ring that bell.
Hey, we know each other. He's a friend from work.
What you do, you're like a little screw loose type of guy, and that's how I am. So I'm digging it, big guy. I am.
Who are you?
You.
No, not me, you.
Yes, I am you.
Just answer the damn questions. Who are you?
Game Time Bryan, otherwise known as the mailman here.
Cool name.
Superpowers?
Broadcasting from the illustrious Jobu Studio.
Come on, are you gonna tell me who that is?
Primetime Phil, and of course my co-host, GameTime Bryan.
Oh, Jesus Christ, this place is going to explode.
$100,000. I don't even need to hear it.